Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be drawing David Bowie, and this video is going to be a part of my Drawing My Icons series. So let's get into the video. I feel like I'm repeating myself in every video, but like usual, I started off by finding an image of David Bowie with a guitar, which there are many, but I like this one. I don't know. I found this image quite a while ago when I first started doing the series, which was, I think, about 2 or 3 months ago. So this was kind of stored on my computer, and I decided to do it because I didn't have any other ideas for this week's video. I decided to do this in pink pencil, watercolor pencil. I used to do this a lot at the beginning of my channel, like a year or so ago, but I kind of stopped doing that after a while, just because it's harder to rub out. But I decided it's a good idea to do that again, because it doesn't make it muddy, so when you're doing like people's skin and stuff, it's quite good. When you're doing other things that maybe need a little bit more detail and stuff, like the face, it's harder to do with the pink pencil. But for just a general shape, and so it doesn't look a bit muddy, it's pretty good. Also, you can add the blush in if you're doing watercolor without actually using the watercolor. You just use the pencil. One thing you do have to be careful if you're using watercolor pencils is that you have watercolor pencils that can be rubbed out even slightly, and that you have watercolor pencils that the color works with what you're doing. Because say you're doing it in green or like orange or purple or something, it's gonna look quite bad, because the watercolor, if you're doing it in watercolor, if you're working in watercolor and you're using watercolor pencil, the watercolor pencil gets lifted up while you're putting the watercolor down, because that's what they're supposed to do, so it gets mixed in. So it can make the drawing quite muddy if you use the wrong color. I luckily don't know this from experience, but just know it from general knowledge, from other people's experience. So don't do that. So the photo I have of David Bowie for this is kind of like, I'm not quite sure, but it's sort of late 70s, it's late 70s, mid late 70s, and it's kind of like a pirate phase he went through. He still has the mullet hair, and he has an eye patch. I don't know how long this thing went on for. You'll find as we go along, I slowly become less and less obsessed with the people I'm drawing, with just more like, I like a couple of their songs kind of thing. Like, the first one I did was Kurt Cobain, and I love Kurt Cobain, it's amazing. Then Freddie, and then I did Amy Lee as well. I can't remember the exact last one I did. Oh, I did Damiana David. He was really fun to do. He was so hard to do. I struggled with that one a lot. And I love David Bowie, and I've listened to him for years, but I don't know the exact period and exactly when. Because with some people, I can look at a photo and be like, this was that year, this show, and know exactly what's going on. But with David Bowie, I know roughly which decade, but that's about it. I know, like, the kind of rough decades kind of thing that he was doing. Sometimes I know the songs that he was, like, doing in that period, but another thing with David Bowie, sorry, that's off on a tangent about David Bowie, but it's related to what the topic of this video is, so it's fine. He has a lot of different, like, characters he used to do on stage. He kind of moved on pretty quickly, so there's a lot of different things that you have to remember, which some people probably do. I have never met an incredibly obsessed David Bowie fan, but there probably are some, and those people will probably know, like, look at a photo and like know exactly which time and year and all that stuff. I don't. but like, he's cool. He's good music. So yeah, this is going off in tangent. Yeah, here was when I decided, yep, this watercolor pencil definitely isn't going to do for the face, and I think I've got a good enough body shape, sort of. So I went in with a pencil. I was kind of upset about this. So I was asking my mum, seeing if she could recognize the person, so like, to see if it was okay or not. And she didn't recognize him. She didn't recognize him. So then I showed her the photo, and she didn't recognize the photo either. And I was so irritated. I was like, oh my god. I was like, is it bad? Oh no, she just doesn't know who that is, apparently. Crazy. And then there was the guitar thing. And yes, I've done about 5 of these drawing paintings. I still have no idea how to draw a guitar. They all are different. I've done a couple of electrics and acoustics, but they're all different and they're all really hard to draw. And like, I still can't draw them. Oh, that reminds me. I also did Bride May, and I'm not sure if I posted it or not. And you might need to tell me during holidays, because I can't be bothered to look through all my videos and check if I have posted it or not. So like, if you know if I did it or not, please tell me. If I haven't, I'll post it in the next 2 or 3 weeks. If I have, then I'm gonna have to think of a new idea to do. Also, if you have any ideas that I could do, because I'm kind of out of them, please tell me as well, because that would help a lot. Yeah. I'm always really confused on what to talk about. And then I end up talking about how confused I am what to talk about. And I feel like my videos are kind of just me drawing with me just going off on long, winded, unrelated tangents about absolutely nothing all the time. Because I don't know, how do I relate this back to the video? But yeah, I was pretty happy with how this was working out. Even though my mum couldn't recognise who it is, I thought, you know what? It's good. And like, I think you can probably recognise who it is, It's okay. David Bowie, I might be getting better, or like just David Bowie might just be easier to draw than Danny. But yeah, so then I went in with the red hair. The problem is, I wasn't sure, like, it's kind of hard to get red hair right. It's not red, it's more orange, but this dyed hair, so it's like more reddish, but it's still more orangey. So I was trying to get the right colour and also make it look like hair, which is kind of hard since it's a mullet. I felt, while I was doing it, I felt like I was drawing hair like I used to draw it when I was a child, with the little flicky things and like the fluffy hair at the top. But most of this picture, it's like his outfit is mostly red. Cool. Actually, another reason it would be quite cool if I picked for this reason is just I just figured this out after. The red trousers with the straps does kind of match some of the other paintings I did. So I realised this after, but that's cool as well. For other videos I'm going to do in this series, I have a lot of people I would like to do. Though, as I said, they slowly get less into my favourite artists of all time, and into, I like these people, kind of. Or I have a few albums I like of them, and then slowly, probably, so I've heard of this person before. Because I'm not great at keeping up with, like, media and stuff, so I never know, like, my friends will be talking about something, or someone will be talking about something, and I'll be like, wait, who's that? Because I don't know. So, if I keep doing this for a very, very long time, which I probably won't, but like, and if I keep doing this every month or so for the next year, I'll probably run out of people that I actually know, and more to people, oh, I've heard of this person before, which won't be a very fun video since I can't talk about the person. But yeah, one of my favourite things about David Bowie is the wacky hairstyles. Some of them are strange. Some of them are really cool. The characters are cool. Yeah, especially I know this is very typical. Like everyone likes Ziggy Stardust. But Ziggy Stardust is cool. If you don't know who Ziggy Stardust is, it's one of the first David Bowie characters he created, and I think it's 1969 or 1970-ish. It's kind of early 70s, maybe 90s. I need to check that. But it's basically this character that he created for the stage, and then he kind of blew up. This is the first thing that made him famous. So then he kind of used this character all through all his interviews and while he was on stage. And then, being David Bowie, he got fed up with the character that made him famous. He got completely fed up with it. So he stopped using it. And he moved on. And people were kind of outraged because it's like, oh my gosh, you've only been, this thing has made you famous and you're just leaving it. But like, he did. And then he made new things. And I think that's what made David Bowie able to stay successful for like 40 decades or something. The fact that he never actually kept doing this exact same thing. He always moved on when he got fed up of it. So yeah, I think he's very cool. So I put in the colour for his eyes. I wasn't actually sure what colour his eyes were. It's kind of hard to tell because he has one eye which pupil is permanently dilated, and you can't really see the colour of the eye on that one. And then the other one, it's like, and so they look kind of different coloured. So I couldn't tell. I wasn't sure. I knew it was kind of either blue or green. It was kind of lighter colour. So I went for green because it looked cool, and I don't know why, but I still say green eyes right here. Strange. Another minor problem I had was that the guitar is red, the trousers are red, and they were on the photo. They were very similar colour. The only thing separating them was shading, and I didn't think I would be able to pull off that amount of shading. So I tried to make the guitar slightly different colour. It doesn't show that much on camera. It shows a lot more in real life, but I made it a bit more brown. I also had a tiny bit of shading under his neck because one of the parts of this kind of character is that very, very, very pale. There's not much skin tone. It's kind of white. His face white. You can't really see the rest of his skin either. So like I don't want to make him like paper white, but like also like he's very, very pale. So I kind of put some shading, a tiny bit of blush, the usual. And that was really it. There wasn't much more. Just shaded a couple of things, added a few highlights, tried to make the guitar look less of like a cutout and more like a guitar. And I didn't do a good job of that. I added some shade to the eye and some more whiteness and like highlights to the hair. And I just realised I didn't take a break. For the last few videos, I've always taken a break in the middle where I'm not talking the entire time. But apparently this video is not going to have one. I put in the guitar strap, and yeah, I was basically finished. I just added some white stuff. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next week. Goodbye!